Somewhere in the world, two frogs lived as the best friends, brothers. They stuck together, always seeking adventure, always looking for mischief. One was fat, and the other thin. Their differences didn't matter. They shared the same joy, hopping across the countryside searching for trouble together. One day, while exploring, they saw a farmer leave a large bucket in front of a stable. Curiosity took over. The two frogs hopped closer, eager to see what was inside, but the bucket was too large for them to see. So, without thinking, they jumped right in. The bucket was filled with milk, but when they tried to climb out, they realized the sides were too slippery. Try as they might, they couldn't get a grip. So the two frogs paddled in the milk, growing more and more exhausted with every stroke. They swam and swam, but the sides were too steep. After what felt like hours, the fat frog spoke. "Brother, there's no use in paddling anymore, we're just going to drown. It's inevitable. We might as well give up. No one's coming to save us, and we won't turn into butterflies and fly away. We're doomed." But the thin frog wasn't ready to quit. "Hold on, brother, keep paddling. Someone will help us, eventually. As long as we keep fighting, we can't lose." So despite the growing fatigue, they both kept swimming, refusing to give in. Time passed, the sun began to set, and the fat frog grew weaker. "I can't go on any longer. There's no sense in it. We're going to drown anyway. What's the point?" And with those words, he stopped swimming. The fat frog sank to the bottom of the bucket, devastated. The thin frog could barely hold back his tears. He'd lost his best friend. But even in his sorrow, he kept paddling, faster and faster, pushing through the pain, pushing through the exhaustion. Then, something amazing happened. As he swam, the milk began to turn into butter. And in that moment, the thin frog realized he could climb out. With one triumphant leap, he escaped the bucket and hopped back into the woods. He had made it. But the victory was bittersweet. He missed his fat friend deeply, and he knew that if only his friend hadn't given up, they both could have survived. The thin frog learned a powerful lesson that day. We never lose as long as we don't give up. Years later, the thin frog married a frog lady and had many frog children. He named each of them after his dear friend to keep his memory alive. Every night, he would tell them the story of the fat frog who gave up, so they would never forget the lesson that had shaped his life. No matter how hard life gets, you can't lose if you never give up. Life is tough, but you must be tougher and smarter. Be grateful for what you have, and remember, as long as you keep going, you can't truly lose. This is Unstoppable Mindset.